Hello guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? Okay, this video is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, I've got headphones on. I'm actually going to run through how I edit one of my vlogs. Yeah, so let's just, I guess, jump right in. Yeah, I'll show you through each kind of step. There will be some pieces missing. This will be purely for like my GoPro footage. We'll be looking at a video, or one day that I shot in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So yeah, let's jump right in. I'm actually going to record my screen as well. So I'll just set that up. So let's hope this works. First time recording my screen. I've got like a key logger thing which should bring up any letter I do in the bottom left of the screen, so you can kind of follow along with what I'm kind of doing as I'm doing it, if that makes sense. Yeah, because I use a lot of quick keys within Final Cut. So obviously I'm using Final Cut. My footage is from my GoPro. Cool, let's just get right in. So yes, here we are. So yeah, here we are. This is Final Cut Pro, obviously. A lot of my footage I keep on a hard drive. I then pull it off to work on it individually, just so it doesn't, clog up my my system. So I'm using a MacBook Pro, 2000. I think I bought it in 2020, but I think it's a 2019. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, cool. Let's just jump right in. So this one was a day in Kuala Lumpur. We did, as you can maybe see here, I called it Petronas because we did go to Petronas. That is a general, I guess, naming of what I'm going to call the, what's it called? So I start here, I just go File, New, and I actually, for each day or each new video that I'm going to do, generally I do a new library. Just again to kind of keep it, keep it a bit streamlined, just so it doesn't clog up my system and use up unnecessary gigabytes. I can always then just clear like the cache and stuff for each individual video. So I set it up as a new library. Yeah, there it's within the same folder as my GoPro footage, as you can see here, and as the screen recording as well, as you can see there. I set it up as KL Petronas. And then what I also do is I then set up a new project, basically with the same name to start with. I make sure this is 4K. I had previously been doing some vertical videos, so yeah, just have to make sure it's in the right place and it's of the right settings. Generally I use 4K, 25 frames per second, and just leave everything else kind of to do its own thing. Here, so this, I've actually got a template in here ready made with, like, you can see here, this is my this is like my intro bit. I've got like a subscribe, I've got like various elements for my video of different things. This is like a price. There's some bits that I probably won't use, but as you can see, I just did Apple C to copy. But there may be bits from this template that I may not use. I then come back into my my KL Petronas project, paste it in. There you see I've got it all laid out. I then come to my footage, come to here. Yeah. Gosh. Oh, it's a bit too hot in here, guys. I actually turned the air conditioning off because it was too noisy. Hopefully if I put it back on, it won't be too loud. I won't be able to hear it because I've got noise cancelling headphones on. That's really annoying, actually. Hey, trying to edit in Southeast Asia with no air conditioning. I'm not sure if that's allowed. Really sorry if you can start hearing that. I don't know, but I need air conditioning. Okay, So anyway, one quirk of the GoPro footage, which is really annoying, that see this here, like if it runs over, I'm not sure, like an X amount of minutes on the GoPro, it then starts an annoying second file. That's obviously kind of, I guess, a safety feature, I guess, of the GoPro, where if it runs to a certain amount of time and then it corrupts, obviously you've got at least part of that file. I believe that's why they do it. It looks like this duration, for example, is like 5 minutes, 20 seconds. And then after that, it started. So this is like, 1.6, and this is 2.6, but it's obviously 791. It's a little quirk that kind of gets annoying when you're trying to bring in files chronologically. Because it tends to then put the 2 right at the end. So basically I just I set it so that it's in order. I'm actually going to put it right here, so I know that the place I put it, which is right here. Now, see what I've got here is, if you can see here, 1 hour and 33 minutes, right? So that's basically 1 day of filming. Yeah, I'm going to cut that into sections, probably of different categories, different things that we do throughout the day, because having a vlog that's 1.5 hours long is too long for anybody to watch, I believe, and it's too long. It gets really frustrating to edit something that long as well. So, it's nice to kind of put out videos which are about, I look at between 10 on the low side to about 20 to 30 sometimes on the high side, depending on how I can kind of chop up a day. Some days or some videos I purposely film and introduce and do an outro to for a certain section, depending on what we're doing throughout the day. But I think this video, I didn't break it up like that on the day. So through editing, I do that. So yeah, so I already kind of know, I've already kind of looked through this stuff. Yeah, so basically, first thing I do, I think, is I'm just going to go and I'm going to edit through kind of to where I think, I guess, one theme or one section can be. One part that could be separated from the whole 1.5 hours, that could be a standalone video. Maybe in the future it all comes back together, I don't know. Or maybe that section then can go into another video, in a future video about KL or about Kuala Lumpur or about Malaysia. It's just about kind of separating these pieces up, and then maybe I can join them back together at a later date. But how I do that for this and for this video, I'm just going to actually, once I get to a point where I think that's probably a time, I have looked through the footage and I kind of think it's what will be after Chinatown. So let's just get started, shall we? So first thing I do, so see this is continued from last time. So that I actually use after I split up the videos, and if I want to continue a single day from a previous vlog, if that makes sense. Probably I'll do another video eventually. There will kind of be maybe the next vlog of this or something, which will kind of explain what I mean by that. Or maybe I'll use it later on in this video. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll see how I get to. But for now, I don't need it. I don't need it until the next video. Because, yeah, hopefully I explained that correctly. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. This is my little intro, kind of, with my vlog number, with my location, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I changed this as per and when. My last one was 253, so obviously I'm going to go 254. I'm still in Kuala Lumpur, I'm still in Malaysia. I'm going to keep that as it is. I don't need that anymore. a lot of these gray areas here are just placeholders for other bits of content to be put in. So like actually this bit here, like this coming up bit, which is kind of the first section, throughout the video, as I'm scrolling through and as I'm finding bits that I may find interesting, which would make a good kind of dynamic and kind of attention-grabbing content or clip, I try and put that here, as like an intro thing. But obviously, as I go through, I then find those bits. So now, actually editing, people, actually editing. So now, I mean, as you can see, like I now kind of just do things like really out of habit, like so like I'm pressing buttons and like you'll just have to, I guess, be aware of them in the bottom left, because sometimes I just zoom in, zoom out. I use like B, A, and they actually change from like selection, to B. I mean, if you don't know these, they're in here, but I kind of just do them even without thinking, So to then try and actually tell you what they are as I'm doing them, it may not always happen. Anyway, for starters, I think actually I may start by just, sometimes I prefer, see, so I'm already at like, so this is still Chinatown here, and I'm already at 20 minutes, you see. So it's already got, I would say, quite big. So I would almost, because I know from here, I think we went and we kind of dropped, we came from our place, we went, and we're on a mission to do laundry, basically. I think we went all the way to Chinatown, or like the Chinatown in Malaysia. So maybe I'll just do up to kind of there. I don't know. I shall let you know. 1 second, stand by. See, I don't know if you can, I'm assuming you can hear what comes through here. I hope so. So that's the laundry there, obviously, so I might cut it. Photo of the guy's phone number, but maybe I won't. There. I would say. Yeah. Okay, what's this place called again?
Peddling Street Market.
Peddling Street Market. Peddling Street Market. Okay, so yeah, so that's where we are, right? It's kind of Chinatown. So I'm going to probably cut it here. Would say. I'm just not sure if it's Chinatown, but definitely. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it there actually, and like 11 minutes, 12 minutes is a pretty good vlog. Like I said, I try and keep it over 12. A lot of maybe some stock footage and stuff, which I'm going to do here. Yeah, a lot of this will probably be cut out. I do cut a lot of my B-roll. A lot of the words I do cut out as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this video now. So what I'm going to do, I just duplicate it, obviously because it's not, so if I show you, further down here, we actually get to Petronas. So this is Petronas here, right? So we're at Petronas here. So this is an hour into the video, right? So this first 10 minutes, although maybe I say that we're going to go to Petronas eventually, maybe I say that, I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. But it's obviously not going to be, Petronas itself, the two towers in Kuala Lumpur, are not going to be in this initial video, right? So I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call it KL. Probably change it to like where to do laundry, for example. Right? Pretty simple. Keep all that the same. Do this. Press OK. Then make sure. Something I really don't like about Final Cut is that when you make a new folder, it doesn't actually, or a new project, it doesn't actually open that project. It keeps the old project open. So if you've sometimes, or when I originally, started using Final Cut, I would do that, and then I would start editing, and obviously I'm editing the one that I want to keep. So do make sure you've double-clicked on that, and you're in the one that you actually want to edit. Okay. I can hear quite a lot of people, like, there's people around this. I remember hearing dogs barking earlier. There was someone doing some cleaning with a water blaster, which I've kind of waited for long enough. I think she stopped. So if there is any background noise, again, I apologize. It was too hot to not have the aircon on, so I need that. So any noises like that, you may just have to deal with. Or I would probably be doing some other videos like this sometime in the future. So for example, like this is obviously for my GoPro footage, which I treat in one way, but I do have my my A7 IV, right? My Sony A7 IV, which actually I'm filming this on, which I have to treat in a different way because of color grading and all this sort of stuff. This, speaking of color grading, up until just recently, I had been using a different color profile on the GoPro. So, and I may go back to that at some point. So for now, this GoPro footage, I don't really do, like I've just got it on, I can't even remember what the settings are. Maybe I'll put the settings up, like down the bottom of the screen, just so you kind of know what that will be. Or maybe I'll do a whole vlog or a video about like what settings I use on my GoPro. That might be an interesting one. Maybe let me know if you want to hear that. But at the moment, I'll just put them down as like a thing. If you know what they are, then even better. But sometimes, so what I used to have was like a flat profile and I used to color grade it and all this. But now, just for ease, and because I'm doing so many videos, I now just use the GoPro colors more or less. Right, so anyway, that's enough of that. I haven't even really edited anything yet, people. So, it was around about 10 minutes, wasn't it? So here, this is when we then come out of... Yeah, we then come out... Dean Rinket. Elephants and things? Yeah. So I'm going to cut it. Bit of this, maybe I'll put some part of Chinatown things. Market. So yeah, so I'm gonna cut it there. This is just for the laundry one. So I'm going to actually, because I've got all the other footage here in the KL Petronas, I'm going to get rid of all this footage, and I'll worry about that later. You know, for now we're just doing laundry, aren't we, people? Just laundry, just laundry. Okay, so now we actually start the edit. First thing I do, I just have a quick look. Generally, so the very first thing I do actually is, if I can, I do this. I select all of my footage, I audio, and I crossfade it. I say yes, create the crossfade, because then that crossfades all your audio throughout any of the talking bits. Obviously there's some B-roll footage, which actually I take all the audio out. Obviously I'll show you that later. And sometimes if the clips are too short, it won't let you do this crossfade. My crossfade settings. So if you go in here, see here's an audio fade is 0.1. My crossfade settings is 0.25. You see there, transition, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so those are my things there. If you want to copy them, feel free. And so that goes through, and that, so I then add a crossfade to all of it. That goes through and it crossfades everything. So even when I move this stuff around, the crossfade is still there. These two clips are still blending together. You get me? Okay, so now it's literally just editing, which for most part is really just rewatching everything and trying to cut anything out that may be stupid, which I said. We are in Kuala Lumpur. Hello, guys. So basically, so I know, just because I've been editing so much, you see through here. I'll zoom in a bit. You see through here. I can tell, just based on the sound squiggles, the waveform of the audio, that I start talking here. All right, and you can sort of see that in the video as well. So I actually cut that pretty much straight away. One thing also is I've got these on. So these are Sony WH something, the 3rd generation. Yeah, there's obviously I think up to the 5th generation now. They are noise cancelling, so I can't hear anything. But and they are wireless, but I actually wire them. So why I wire them is that sometimes you can get a delay. It may just be like a split-second delay from the audio from your Mac to these, and that, if you're looking at waveforms, it doesn't matter so much. Like if you're looking at the audio waveforms and you know how to read them, it doesn't matter so much. Until later, when I come to actually editing, editing like the music to the B-roll or anything else, because I just cut my audio to the beat. So for that, you want to be quite specific. You want to be quite kind of pedantic about where it hits and where that clip cuts, if that makes sense. Okay, guys, so we're here, right?
Guys!
Yes.
Hello, guys!
Right.
We are in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm just going to watch this through a little bit.
Today we're actually going on kind of an adventure somewhere.
Yeah, I like to make sure I'm not like
hopefully
making any strange
we'll bring us a place
noises.
to do laundry.
And
So I take
pedaling street market.
Pedaling
We're
street
going to
market.
pedal in the street market. Asher's not going to get run over.
Okay.
Asher again is the navigator.
So I kind of, I go through, I take out any like swear words, I take in it like sometimes like, cough or sniff or, make strange noises. Sometimes the audio is terrible in the background. Sometimes there's some ums or some like silences. I go through and I edit all those out. Generally. So I'm usually just, watching this all through, watching all this through.
We'll see. So we'll see where we end up. Pedaling in the street market, and then we might go then to Petronas Towers, those ones over there. The famous twin towers of Kuala Lumpur. But yeah, for now, walking. We were thinking about catching a bus, we were thinking about catching something or something else. I've just been on a big long run today.
So one thing I wanted to say as well, I keep my brightness up on one back from the highest. Now I don't know if that's how it is, but that's kind of how I watch videos myself. So that's how I make sure, although it doesn't really matter so much in this because I'm just letting the GoPro do all its own color stuff. So for the most part, I kind of trust that it's at the right levels. I mean, this actually looks a little bit dark maybe for me, but I guess it's just because it's a grey day. I guess it's fine. Okay, so where was I?
A lot of
Here,
cars,
crossing the road. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to just cut like maybe that all the way to when I pick it back up to maybe here, right? So you remember when I did a crossfade and I said, oh, it does all of them. It won't do an automatic crossfade on these, the new cut that I've done, obviously. Right, so I do then go back and I do a crossfade on that. That then puts a nice crossfade between there. I do listen to it back to make sure there's nothing there. Sometimes there's some weird clicks and stuff, which I try and get rid of. Cool, so as you saw maybe there, so quite often, and I know that particularly at the end of my videos, whether it's the talking sections or the B-roll, quite often I do drop the camera, as you can see there. So I know that,
head in this direction.
I'll probably cut it there, right? And then so my B-roll, look, we're on some lovely B-roll. It's okay. It's okay, B-roll. Generally I just grab the blade. Sorry, I haven't really been talking through, but do playback. And look just down here so you can see B. B for blade, right? And you can see A. So that changes it to, what is it, arrow? Select, yeah, I guess. So B, and I just cut again. See, I dip there with the camera, so I know that kind of zoom in maybe. So I dip there with the camera, so I know that that's where I want to cut it. Usually the beginning could be a bit strange as well. It seems alright on this. This one also seems pretty good. I like keeping like quite fluid motion. Like if it starts to go a bit weird like that just did. So I keep that flow from here, here, and maybe to, let's say there. And then, so I've cut. So that's, you know, sometimes there's like 5, 10, 20 clips for the B-roll in a single section. I do try and break up the speaking parts with a bit of B-roll just to make it a bit more entertaining, so it's not just me blathering on. But yeah, so I then go through and actually cut all of one of the B-roll sections, which is this, right? And then I just delete and delete. And because I'm going to put like some music over the top of the B-roll, most of my B-roll generally I actually detach, and I would normally, or I used to, press delete and delete it now. But for this, just to remind myself that this is B-roll for when I come back and do the music, I just leave it there for now. Right, so now we're going to go on to the next section.
I'll just walk through like a...
So you see there's just a bit there. I just cut it right up until when I'm talking. And you can see here, see there's already this like the crossfade there, which was actually from crossfading between here and here. But it'll just do a nice like fade in from when I do the music later. And if I need to, I can adjust that backwards and forwards once the music comes in. Okay, see, so there's a big bit of dead air there. So I think I might even just
Okay, sorry.
cut it there, cut it there.
So you definitely get a sense here of like... Sure.
See, I might cut it. No.
So you definitely get a...
Okay, so I'm going to cut it there. Again, delete this whole section, a lot of quiet there. Do the clip, and do the modify audio crossfade. Now there is a shortcut for that, but I can never remember what that thing is there, so I just do it through the menu.
You definitely get a sense here of like multiculturalism. You know, like Indian mixed with...
And I'm constantly like, if you see, I'm constantly zooming in, zooming out.
Mixed with Malaysian.
It's easier to cut. It's easier to cut for me, like more specifically when I'm zoomed in. But
like,
then to see like what's coming up,
like
I just zoom back out again.
Bit Whitechapel-y. Okay, I should stop at a shop. Stopped at a shopping shop, clothing shop right out.
Really nice.
Dangerous.
Okay, so we got another little section of B-roll, which I'm gonna again cut. So one thing, which is, so there's this N button, see that I press every so often. And so what that does is this is snapping. So N, which I keep pressing. So N here is like a snap. So what that does is it kind of snaps you, you see, you kind of go up to here and it snaps you into a bit like this. I don't really like that, particularly like if I'm trying to get really close to like an edge to do some editing. So I press that to turn it off. See, it's kind of, so I'll kind of cut that here. That looks quite nice, but sometimes with my videos, I kind of do a backwards and forwards motion, so sometimes it kind of, you know, and then I kind of decide, do I want it going up or do I want it going down? I mean, I think on this one I'll probably have it going up to there. Again, press A, delete, detach audio again so I can see where it is, right? Remember that? Yeah, we're here. So I've cut this, cut that. Again, you know, this is going to have this inny and outy bit, you know, this kind of fade in. So like I said, I might have this,
This building here behind me.
okay, so I'm going to keep that just as a part of this. But I think when I come to doing the audio, when I come to do the, like the music, I'll just blend it probably to here. Yeah, makes sense. You'll see once I get the music.
Oh, it is hot.
So generally, again, like I like cutting a bit of that.
Hello.
Yeah, see, it's a bit of dead air there, dead air there.
Oh, it is hot. Hello. Speaking of hot.
Oh, okay, so may even cut it there. So this is when my handy dandy template comes into play. You see, so I've already got this set out. What is it? It's like a title, right? Yeah, it's like a title that I've already made previous. Actually edited one and took elements out of it and set it up kind of as my own little thing. And so what I do make sure though, so here is obviously the title part, but then it does have an audio component which is also down here. So make sure I select both of them because they're actually in the right place. I'll explain once I paste it. So what I do is right at the end of when I say, for example in this case, ringgit or a number or like, you know, 10 pounds, 10 rupiah, whatever it is, you know. Right after I say the number is when I put the cha-ching. Cha-ching, ready?
Ringgit.
So ringgit is right there. So I paste it, right? But actually that's put, so my cha-ching, which is here, look. See, so my cha-ching actually goes when that thing spins. And when that thing spins is not actually at the beginning of this clip, right? But I've put the play head, I think it's called, at the front of this clip. So I just go like this, right? And then I just drag this back to here. So then you'll see, as soon as I say ringgit, then it goes cha-ching and spins.
20 ringgit.
Right? It's just a nice timing. I find this maybe a little bit pedantic, but I just find it, you know, kind of looks good.
20 ringgit. So like.
Right, so what I'm going to put there, so these two, this and this, are both in different kind of sections. So this I'm going to just change to what, shopping, right, whoops, 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 shopping, and it was 20 ringgit.
So like.
So 20 ringgit, so we're going here, changing this to 20, and now, a bit of fun, go into real life, and I've already got the setup actually, I set this up already, but 20 ringgit is 377 pounds, 377 pounds, I then go back here, change this to United States dollars, I copy and paste it in. So at the moment, I'm only doing ringgit, so the national currency or the currency of the country that I'm in, as well as pounds, which is kind of what I deal with generally. That's, well, where what little money I have left is, having come from London. And then dollars, which is actually US dollars, because that's generally the most used currency, I guess, in the world. Sometimes I add a few more. I used to have 4. I used to have euros, but I found euros and dollars were very similar. And there were a point where they were literally exactly the same, so I just stopped using them. Yeah, but obviously if I go to European countries, I'm going to use euros. You know, but for now, what relates most to me is pounds and the country I'm in, and dollars just as a general something, if that makes sense. So there we go. Look, we've got this set up.
Ringgit. So like £1.50, something like this. Not much. 20
Wow, I was well off.
ringgit. So like £1.50, something like this.
Don't know how I was so far off that. That doesn't make sense, but okay. Okay. Sometimes, yeah, but I mean, this was only day 2, I think. So I think we kind of still wasn't obviously ready for the currency there. But sure,
So,
let's do it.
something like this.
Let's just keep going. Okay, just cutting that there. Again, we've got some B-roll here coming through. So I'm going to run through, make sure this N is off so it's not snapping. Going through, that's a nice bit. So you see I've cut all that off and then I kind of put that there. And also when I come to doing the music, obviously this will probably get edited a bit more to cut with the beats, like I said in previous. This is me walking. Okay. Now I'm going to go through, roll through there. See, again, I've done this twice. See, so I did it once, and then I went back, and then I did it again. So obviously I don't want that twice, do I? But I might want the longer one, actually. I quite like that one. So I might actually do it all the way from here to kind of there. So that's the end of the B-roll, is it? No, that's B-roll there as well. Kind of from, I guess, here to here. Okay. And then that starts off the video with me talking. Okay, so deleting that, deleting this, deleting this, deleting this, deleting this, deleting this. You see, I do the whole B-roll section at once, so I can just go through and delete, 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 delete. And generally speaking, I've got a bit to delete at either end, and this is the bit that I want to keep. Generally. Sometimes I only cut a bit off the end or the beginning. Yeah, it kind of depends, and usually I just try and remember which bits I actually want to delete. I seem to get it right most times. Okay, so now we are expanding audio again. Well, no, not expanding, sorry. Detaching audio. Right, so now we've got it attached, so that tells me where to put music in sometime in the future. Now I'm going to cut that.
Okay guys, we're kind of in.
No. So I cut that there. Looks like there's a roll, yeah, there's a roll here. Cool.
Okay guys, we're kind of in.
Let's keep going. Okay, cut that. See, there's.
Hello.
Cut maybe from there. There's a bit of dead air there. And then again, do the magic trick audio crossfade. Okay, because actually on this one, there weren't many laundrettes around. So as I was kind of explaining, like we were quite surprised that we had to go so far to find one that had like service laundry. I'm actually going to put the name here.
Down here in some part of Chinatown. Don't worry, found it. Printer if you need it. Flamingo Laundry.
So, and it also give you an example of how I use either this or this. This one generally I use if I've like made a mistake. You know, I've put the asterisks around it to be like, actually no, it's not what I'm saying. It's actually this thing. So if I pronounce something wrong, if I said a wrong word, I then put it with asterisks just to be like, actually is this. This one I use as like a translator. So if it's one word, so in this example, on the left hand side is Bahasa, on the right hand side is English. But actually I use this generally. I've added like a motion animation on it to make it grow and shrink. But there is also, I think it was a title that I used, which also kind of fades out if you see. So I will add that there. I'll zoom in.
Flamingo Laundry.
So where I've kind of, so you can see where I've actually said the word, because that's where the audio waveform jumps up there. So I'm going to say it from there, or kind of as I'm saying it, so I might actually bring it over a little bit more.
Flamingo Laundry.
Yeah, so I might just bring
Laundry service there. Flamingo Laundry.
No, I'm going to bring it here maybe.
Here. Flamingo Laundry.
So I like putting it, you know, obviously because it comes out of kind of nowhere. It just goes from infinitely small to most of the screen. I like to put it that it's kind of coming from nowhere, you know, as voice kind of does, you know, it projects out, right? That's why I like it kind of coming up like this, and that's why I like putting it kind of as I start to say the word, and then kind of as the word's kind of finished is when it fills the screen. So that was Flamingo Laundry. Yes, okay, Flamingo Laundry.
Flamingo Laundry.
There we go.
Okay, so we found it.
Cool.
We found it, people, don't worry. We found it. They've also got internet and a printer if you need it.
So one thing actually that's kind of been bugging me for most of this video is that right at the beginning I did say, we did talk, so I'll just remember how far along we were there so I can come back to it. 9 minutes, okay, remember that guys, 9 minutes in. Don't worry, 9 minutes of a 12-minute thing, don't worry, we're not that far. Anyway, somewhere in here we say the name of the market, which is Petaling.
And Petaling Street Market.
There we go, see? Exactly that. So I think I want to add that in there. Even though this video isn't about that, I think it's still nice to kind of have it as kind of an intro type thing. Because I think in the next video we are actually there. So
And Petaling Street Market.
yes, Petaling Street Market. How do you spell that, people? Okay, so let's go here and just use Google. Petaling Street Market. Yeah, Petaling Street Market. So obviously Google's made that the right spelling for me, but it's all lowercase. I like to have it all in uppercase, so I've actually got a case converter, right? So I just use this. It's a free one, caseconvert.net, and I just changed it up. This is just for speed of things. I just put that in there. Petaling Street Market. It's a little bit big, I'd say. Maybe I just reduce that a little bit as an overall size, and then it just comes up there.
Street Market.
So we're going to Petaling Street Market.
Okay, that's there. Fix that. Now let's get back to where we were. A lot of weirdness, like, you know, I like, you know, stuff like this where I'm wiping stuff off my face, or I don't know, blowing my nose or anything like this. You know, take all that stuff out. Although this bit here is like putting the mask on.
Yeah, put a mask on.
Which I think is kind of important. You know, I think you know, in a lot of places in Asia they still like you to put masks on when you're entering places. So I think it's kind of quite an important part of the culture and of the time, if you like.
You can all use it. And put a mask on. Mask on, mask on. Seems like the general situation is you have to wear masks inside generally. And people do.
There you go. I just said that.
Dark. Bye bye. Here's the laundry service here. Let you know how much it is.
Okay, just going to cut that a little bit off here.
Okay guys, so yeah.
And playing with my hair there. Nobody needs to see that. Going to take that off.
Okay.
Basically, you know, I maybe need to start working on how I do my little intros, because every single clip or every bit where I start talking, I say, "Okay, guys." But it's just what I do.
Okay guys, so yeah, down here, I don't exactly know the address. I guess when I do the edit of this, maybe I'll put the address either down the bottom or in the description. Do the edit of this, maybe I'll put the address. Do the edit of this.
Maybe I'll just take that off.
I guess when I do the edit of this, maybe I'll put the address either down the bottom or in the description. I did take a photo of the guy's phone number, but description.
So I may actually add that in. Again, maybe I'll take this one. It's already got the name there, right?
Or in the description. Do the edit of this. Maybe I'll put the address either down the bottom.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that like I kind of say, but then move it down the bottom. And I might actually give you the address as well. I know that this, because I think we used Google to get there. Let me go. Laundry, Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, it is not. Wow, it's a long address, but okay. Okay, I might just give you all that. So here, 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 and here. And I guess I have to move it all up. Yeah, let's move that up. Here. Yeah, I'm going to change it all to uppercase. Go here again, do this, uppercase, copy it all, paste it all, and then make it all smaller so it all fits. Oof, gosh. Hopefully that's alright for everyone. I'll probably put it in the description of the video as well. I'll make that even a little bit smaller. I might make that a little bigger. Yeah. Sure. And then move this up. Actually, I don't like how. Yes, that's better. So close that was. Moving it down here.
The address either down the bottom or in the description. I did take a photo of the guy's phone number, but maybe I won't share that on social. But yeah, it was 6 ringgit a kilo. I think mine cost 5.
Okay, so there we go. We're going to do another one of these little guys here. And go here.
Kilo.
Take these guys. Remember I copied both of these and I've kind of put it a kilo, so at the end of that sentence that I'm saying, 6 ringgit a kilo, I then will put the
kilo.
Cha-ching.
I think mine cost 5.
Laundry, so I'm going to go here, say laundry per kilo. Yes, make sure it fits in. Sometimes that kind of runs over this box, so you either have to make that smaller or change your writing. So that's 6 ringgit a kilo. We're going back to this one. 6 ringgit a kilo is United States dollars, 138. UK dollars, pounds, UK pounds is 13. 13. Yes, makes sense?
15 ringgit.
So I
it
see.
was 6 ringgit a kilo. I think mine cost 15 ringgit.
Okay. So see, annoyingly here, I've said 2 prices and I do try and put them both in.
6 ringgit a kilo. I think mine cost 15 ringgit.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab this and then put it here.
15 ringgit.
Alright, so that's, you can see here on the waveform, that's when I say 15 ringgit, right? I'm gonna try and move this to here, get the cha-ching right on the end of the ringgit, and hopefully these two don't overlap. They don't. It seems
I think
alright
mine
actually.
cost 15 ringgit.
Kind of delete.
That's about right.
Kind of moves away just as the other one starts. So that's okay. 15 ringgit. We're changing that. 15.00. Yes. 15 pounds. 283. 283. As you can see, so I'm alt tabbing. If you haven't noticed, I'm alt tabbing just to get backwards and forwards really quickly between. What do I use? I use my Brave browser, which is kind of like an alternative to Google Chrome, that is. And I just alt tab between, or command tab. It is actually on the Mac. Should know that. Been using it for long enough. Just to jump between these things, obviously, you know, and I haven't been telling you about Command C is copy, you know, Command A is select all, Command C is copy, and Command Tab to get back to the other guy, to Final Cut Pro, and then paste it back in, Command V. Right? You know that, right? You know your copies and pastes, hopefully.
Right. 2, 3, yeah. Usually about 3 kilos, man. Depending on. So now we're in some part of Chinatown, I would say. I'm just not sure if it's Chinatown, but definitely.
I am sure it's not.
She's sure it's not Chinatown, even though it says Chinatown. Backpack is Chinatown.
Okay. Petaling Street.
And it's got China everywhere.
Petaling Street.
China, China, China.
Okay, so it's a bit of a strange one to end there, so I may actually grab the clip. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab this. What I always do at the end of my videos, or towards the end, is put the subscribe. Obviously this one, like I said, continues on to, it's the same day, but it'll be split into a few videos, so it continues to a different video. So I've got like a little template saying to be continued. I may though jump to this guy here. Yeah. Right, so where so I say China, China, China.
Loads of stuff, elephants and things. She's sure it's not Chinatown.
Street Market.
Petaling Street Market. So this is what we're looking at. Loads of stuff.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to grab this bit to lead into this bit for the next one, if that makes sense, right? So here, I'm going to just put it, yeah, I'm going to just put this here. This probably hasn't got a crossfade. Crossfade. Because it kind of bleeds into the next one, right? So I've got this, and this is like to be continued. So it kind of like gives like a little snippet, a little like enticingness to the next video. I'll just...
Okay, what's this place called again?
Petaling Street Market.
Petaling Street Market. So this is what. Okay. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. Loads of stuff. Elephant.
So I'm going to probably just stop it right there. I think actually. No, it's not. So this would maybe be there. I cut that. So this here is like my, like it's another title thing, right, that I use. This then correlates with the end titles. I can't remember what it's called. End card, I think. End card on YouTube. So you can't see what I'm pressing, but let me click here. So this here then gets filled with like the next video for people to watch. And that's like on YouTube, but that's set up in YouTube. So right now I've got it as a placeholder, as a blank space that kind of floats in, and then on YouTube, in YouTube land, a video then appears here. So that's quite nice to have with something behind it
What's this place called again?
Petaling Street Market.
Petaling Street Market.
Okay, I think I kind of actually want to have that there. And then I might have that here and here. And then this kind of here. It's not an exact science, this, to be honest.
China. Okay.
And I think
China everywhere.
I want to just take that a little bit out there. Here.
And it's got China everywhere. Okay, what's this place called again?
Petaling Street.
Backpackers Chinatown.
Okay. Petaling Street.
And it's got China everywhere.
Petaling Street.
Right. Here.
Backpackers Chinatown.
Okay. Petaling Street.
Okay, what's this place called again?
Petaling Street Market.
Backpackers Chinatown.
Maybe just do it there, right? It gets a bit repetitive.
Is Chinatown. Backpackers Chinatown. Okay, what's this place called again?
Petaling Street Market.
Petaling Street Market. So this is what we're looking at. Loads of stuff. Elephants and things. All the things. Yeah, shoes.
Okay, I guess I'll extend that.
Shoes. You want some shoes over there? The pretty flops.
No.
Loads of stuff. Elephants and things.
Okay. It's not the best example, to be honest, of how I usually finish a video.
Elephants and things. All the things.
But actually, it might work. So I do that. Do kind of that. Here. And just have that coming in there. Get rid of this.
Is Chinatown. Okay, what's this place called again?
Petaling Street Market.
I usually do this slightly different. Usually I've got a bit of B-roll that I kind of put in underneath this. Because I don't really have any B-roll to speak of. I'll just put like that. I'm going to actually delete this. Okay, that's pretty much how I do the rough edit, and then I've got this at the end, you know. So this kind of just then fades off into the darkness, and I've got loads of fades, fade. Usually I'd put a fade here. This would be, it would fade into like a B-roll section, and then this would roll over the top of it. But because of the nature of how this is, and it kind of bleeds, like I say, it bleeds into the next video, I'm just going to leave it, I think, like that. So now I don't need any of this. This section here, which I never used, so that was something that I use, which actually has all my settings here, my color settings for the previous GoPro color settings that I can just drag and drop or copy and paste onto if I'm using a flat profile of the GoPro, which I'm not on this video, so I'm not using it, right? So we don't need any of that. Delete all that. Now, what do we got? Oh, okay, so it's this. Nothing really grabbed me too much for this coming up, right? But generally I use like a couple of these B-roll sections just because they're the most kind of fun. So I select them all here. I actually copy them and I actually paste these at the end. This is something I've just started doing. Right, I mean I've always had like a section there, but the way that I now select them and do them, I just have managed to speed it up. So I just do that. Get rid of all the non-areas and paste them all in like that. And then that's kind of done, you know. That's kind of nice. Boom, boom, boom. But what I do like doing is having a little bit of voice. Maybe I will get the bit that says flamingo. Just because it's a bit.
Flamingo laundry. Okay. So we found it. We found it, people. Don't worry. We found it.
Okay. Yep, that's cool. Flamingo laundry sounds pretty good.
The laundry service there.
Yeah, boom, boom. So see, I don't know if you saw what I just did then. Let me go back. So what I do is I find the section that I want to take out of this. I then get it. I actually, I cut it. So I cut here and I've cut here. I copy it. You see, Command C. So then it's in the copy pasteboard, I guess. It's in the ether, right? So now I can actually delete. It's a bit pedantic, I know. It doesn't really matter, but now I can delete those cut marks. And I've still got that section that's cut in the pasteboard, which I can then just paste. You see? I then drag this, pressing in, so it snaps to there.
Flamingo laundry.
Coming up.
Okay, so we found it. We found it, people. Don't worry. We found it.
Okay, see that kind of went a bit abrupt, that sound. I'm going to just curve that in. So what I'm doing there is just like some fade-ins and fade-outs. So I've just realized that probably when I come down here, you only see half my face. But hey, I think this is only going to be a little section on the bottom of my screen here, so it doesn't matter, does it? Okay, so we've done that. That's like a brief intro of what we're actually doing. This here. Now, a bit of the fun bit is I go to Epidemic Sound, which I've got an account for. Epidemic Sound's pretty cool. If you don't know it, I do have a link in my description, actually. And I think you get 30 days free if you want to trial it. Give it a go. It's cool. I use it for everything. Literally everything. If you don't know what it is, it's royalty. I don't know if it's royalty free, but basically it's a subscription-based audio content thing, right? Where basically you can download various songs or even sound noises. Not sounding it very well. Sound noises, which you can then just use on your footage for YouTube, and you can still monetize, because you're paying the subscription, you're actually paying for a license to use this audio in any of your videos, and you don't get any of those horrible content strikes for using other people's songs without permission. You get me? You get me? Okay, so generally with my videos and my taste, a good thing that Everything with Sound now does is it actually has recommendations based on what I've used previous. So a lot of my stuff is either in kind of house, a bit beats, or a bit hip hop. It depends on kind of where I was at, I think on the day or the day before. I like something with a bit of a tempo, but also a bit smooth and a bit floaty, which it balances itself out. Nothing too hard, which kind of scares people away. Nothing too soft, which puts people to sleep. I kind of like something that has a beat, but doesn't overpower people, but kind of keeps them interested, So yeah, I choose stuff like this. You see here, I've actually got a playlist, and this one's already been used. So what I often do is choose one, and then once I've chosen it, I actually add it to a playlist, because I don't particularly like reusing the same ones over and over again, unless it's really good. And I have used it a long time ago. I wouldn't use it in one video and then the next video I use the same one, just because I think for the viewer maybe it gets a bit boring. No? That's just my opinion. When I watch some people's videos and I'm like, I've heard this one before, and it's literally two videos before, it's a bit lazy. I understand why people do that. People, maybe their tastes, or maybe they only have a certain library of music that they're allowed to use. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a whole massive library by Epidemic Sound, so why not try and use as much of it as possible. A really great thing, actually, maybe I'll do a thing on Epidemic Sound at some point. I don't know. But one great thing about Epidemic Sound is that obviously, like I said, it does recommendations and more of what you like based on based on my downloads, and this is probably based on what I've used in general. But also a great thing, I think that's kind of new-ish, is that something that I've liked before, like this, which I like. I'm not sure it really suits this. I think I'm going to go for more of a hip-hop one for this because it's a bit more city, a bit more, that. But just as an example, something, if I did like that and I've already used it, see, I go find familiar or find similar, and it brings me other ones that are very, very similar, sometimes by the same person or sometimes in the same hopeful, dreamy mysterious, laid back house, something in the same vein. So I can kind of like tie it in perhaps with what sometimes I use multiple tracks within the same video, or sometimes like this, there's multiple videos of the same day, which kind of I want to keep the same rhythm to, or the same feel, For me, like particularly with B-roll, the audio really is what drives the emotions of people, generally. Anyway, like I said, I wanted some more hip-hop-y stuff, so just go to browse, hip-hop. I like it quite dreamy and happy, as opposed, like, sometimes I can use some dark stuff, and sometimes actually some of the stuff I use, they think is dark, and I don't seem to think it is dark. But anyway, let's see what this sounds like. See, like I like that, but the trapness in it is, I think, too heavy for some people, or for me anyway. That's a bit nicer, a bit easier, maybe a bit too relaxing. And a bit too slow again. Too heavy. I mean, generally speaking, I don't use ones that have vocals because I feel they add like an extra dimension and kind of detract from, like, I guess the footage, if you know what I mean. Obviously I've been talking, and then sometimes I don't know what the lyrics are going to be, and if they say anything explicit, which actually they're usually marked if they are explicit. But if they say anything that's kind of got nothing to do with the video, like, it doesn't make sense. So I just stay generally away from those. You can actually click here and click just instrumentals, which actually I might do just because I said. I'm just going to click around here for a bit, try and find something. See, sometimes it's a bit heavy, Kind of like it, but for me it's a little bit heavy. So I might go find similar. Okay, so I like that one. It's a bit floaty, but it's happy. It's not too like sleepy, and it's not too grumpy or angry. So download. I usually download the full thing. Here you can like do stems, which is kind of like separating all the tracks out. I haven't really jumped into that. That is something that I may want to look at in the future, but for now, just keep it as like a mixed version. Download. Put it into my folder, and then I can actually click Show Finder. It goes straight to it. Go here. What I forgot to do though was, see, so I always add mine to the playlist just so it adds a tick there so I know I've used it. Yeah, makes sense? Cool, so now I've got that right there. Drag that to here. put that in here, drag it down here. So I'm not so like I don't know like so much about audio, but what I like to do, and if you see like my talking bits, when I'm talking, there's no like there's no yellow and there's no red peaks. It's all kind of below. There's maybe a little yellow there or some other bits, right? So generally I like to, and what I've heard is generally if you go, where is it? It's here. Workspace, no, show in workspace. Audio meters. I think I like to have that. Quite small actually. So see here, mine kind of goes somewhere between kind of between 0, sorry, actually pointing at the screen, should be pointing with the mouse, here, between 0 and like -6, but generally around -3, right? So that's generally where I like to keep my, audio, and that includes the music, right? And actually I think most of Epidemic Sound stuff comes in where it peaks at 0, right? So for me, I always like to make that -3, just to keep it away from anything. I mean, I'm sure like Epidemic Sound have like mastered everything so that nothing actually clips, but because my own audio is at a certain level, I like to keep that at a certain level. And from what I've heard, keeping everything at -3 stops any like little pops or clicks that may come through when I'm talking on audio. This is, sorry, like that maybe. I just hit my microphone as I said that. That's completely different from my GoPro to my big camera. My big camera will be something completely different. I actually have some different audio settings for that. Generally with the GoPro, I just use the audio straight out of it. So for me it sounds fine. Okay, so here we are.
Flamingo Laundry. Okay, so we found it. We found it, people, don't worry. We found it.
So now I'm just going to edit the music track to the video. So see there where it, there's the, what's it called, like kind of the intro to the music, and then it dropped there, you see right here. What I like to do is actually like to use that drop. What I did there was cut that, and I cut that so that I can then press T, which is, what is it? T is trim, which means you can actually pull. See if you see here. Pull, and it doesn't move this section. It just moves the track within the clip that's cut, right? So if I go, that's the drop there. I like to have the drop perhaps there after I stop speaking, right? So that's like straight in to the B-roll, all right? Now what I quite often do as well is, because it's me talking here, and everybody wants to hear me talking, don't they? I actually drag, I actually create like a fade in effect, but I think I might do it like this, like a concave version. So to do that, I don't think, oh yeah, it doesn't. My keystroke recorder only records where I click. It doesn't click there, doesn't record what I click. So right now I'm actually right clicking. Whoops, he says right clicking, and then that brings up like the various shapes of your fade ins and fade outs. So I'm going to do like a concave version. So that actually is very, very quiet.
Flamingo Laundry. Okay, so we found it. We found it.
And it comes in quite quickly. You see. Okay, and now I'm just going to cut this bit of audio to the beats. So I'm going to cut the video clip, the B-roll video clip to the beats, right? As I go along. So that's probably, I don't know, usually I like to actually cut it to the snare, but it does depend on the clip. like probably I could, so that's probably better. That's like the snare right there. But then actually, so what I always shoot in, so with my GoPro, one of the settings I do, so obviously if you saw when I was making this, it's 25 frames per second, right? But my footage is actually 50 frames, which means the magic of slowing it down, right? So I can go here, if you go automatic speed, that actually sets the clip to the speed of the project. So my project is 25 frames. This piece is 50 frames, so it's now set. It's a lot slower, right? Yeah, I don't use it all the time. I only use it sometimes. Or if you want to get this dreamy kind of feel, like flowing stuff happening, then it works as well. But generally, yeah, I use it sparingly. I use it if I need to kind of extend a clip a little bit. Or if like a clip's going too fast, like that one's going a bit fast. But that's okay. Yeah, so I might cut that there, again at the snare. Yeah. There again at the snare. As you can see, because I've dragged this along, this is now touching there, so I'll just drag it away. So that's luckily quite a short one. That's a good snare point there. So what's just happened now that it often annoys me is, again, it snaps, right? It's snapping. Sometimes you want it snapping, sometimes you don't, because sometimes if you get really close like that, you just want to get it to do this, if that makes any sense to you. See, so this is another piece. I probably will go like this, automatic, and drag it back to that snare. Okay, that kind of came in a bit weird, so I'm just gonna I think that's okay. It's okay. So, particularly with this bit, like what I kind of do is I kind of fade. Actually, I've started extending my fades out a lot more now. Right now, this is like at 4 seconds. I listen back to it. See, and if it kind of just rolls into the next bit, which is obviously the noise of my intro logo, it sounded okay. Yeah, it just merges quite nicely. So yeah, that's that section done. Now I'm going to go over to here. So remember, I said like I detached the audio here so that I could see exactly where the B-roll pieces are. So now I can come back to that, delete it, zoom in a bit. And previous, I'd actually cut. I don't know if you noticed. I'd cut the audio and then left the section there, but then I cut it so that I've got it with me now. It's in again. Yeah, I do tend to use like the paste board quite often to kind of store, particularly audio, to then use in different places. So so I can cut this, for example, and I can cut this with the blade, but then cut it with Command X to then paste later on. Right, so now I've actually got it in the pasteboard, but it's not here messing up my audio flow when I'm trying to flow it into this talking section, if that makes sense. I'll go back to that and actually put it in the right place. So.
Head in this direction.
Okay, I think that needs to go maybe there. Again, I'm going to maybe try and find a... I think actually on... Yeah, so that's quite a nice bit there. So I think I'm going to grab that, get rid of this, move this again over to here where the drop is, blend, or like roll that up.
In this direction.
No, I might actually make that a straight one, so that's there's a bit more to it. Yep. So remember on the previous one that I actually copied and put into the intro section, I actually also did what I'm about to do now, which is that, just to give it a bit more. I might actually though roll this one back. So see, I've been doing this for so long that I just do everything. So I press T there just to get the trim one again, right? So I can actually move this within the clip. So the clip, it stays the same length, so it stays on the beat, and it stays on the beat. But within it, I can move it around, right? I'm going to just mess that up a little bit. Let's go back. Okay. So yeah, it's a bit nicer there. Okay. Okay. So with this, I think I'll just cut there, and again roll that like quite far. Get rid of that so I can hear what it sounds like.
I'll just walk through like.
See, that doesn't quite blend in. I don't feel enough. I'll go to linear, kind of give it a bit more.
So I'll just walk through like a.
Yeah, see, so that blends a lot more. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. Let's move on to the next section. Okay. Just this bit. Again, I've detached the audio so I know where the B-roll section is. I can now delete that. I can now put my music track there. One trick that I've found, so you know how I said like I use the pasteboard and then I kind of find a place here and I paste it in. But annoyingly, quite often when you paste that in, it goes to the end of that audio track. So you can then go Shift I. And then it takes you to the beginning of that one that you're selected on. So you actually go back to where you kind of were. So I quite like that. Yeah, I quite like that. Whatever that's called. I'm going to get rid of that bit, but then I'll add maybe that here. Although that is actually also quite nice here. So again, pressing N just to make it snap, so then I can find just where that audio waveform is, right there. Yes, makes sense, everyone. And then I think I might do it as a straight.
Nice.
Dangerous.
And that's a nice transition there. It's not on the snare necessarily, but it's quite a nice abrupt thing. I might try and drag that over to here. Don't know if it's going to work. That's so nice. So I'm going to do my trick. Double up the size, double up the length. So there. Like I said, I don't know if you remember, but see there's this whole section here which actually I'm not talking on, but it's kind of like nice as like a roll into the talking as if it was B-roll. Yeah? Good. I seem to know what I'm talking about for some reason. So I've just pulled this all the way back. Maybe I won't pull it that far. Going to get rid of that. That's now in my pasteboard. Now that movement, see that movement was a bit slow. So I might just actually cut that there.
This building here behind me, it looks.
See, nice flow there, right? You get my flow? You get it? You get it? You hear my flow there, people? Okay, now back. Next one. Which is this one? This one is... Yeah, so again, found my section where I detached the audio, going to delete it. I've got my music audio in my pasteboard ether, and I can paste it. I can do shift, I can select and shift I to get to the start of it. And then I can just listen for a drop. That's a nice one. I feel like I've used it already, maybe.
Okay guys, we're kind of in, I think like the start at least of Chinatown.
Because obviously, like, I'm almost at the end of this video. So this is, I think, the last B-roll section. So I know that I've got all of this to play with still. So I might try and find a different, something that's slightly different.
Everybody does their own laundry, right?
So the same. But then
I think like the start at least of Chinatown.
Yeah, that sounds good. So quite often, some of the epidemic sound stuff, because it's kind of, I don't know, yeah, they're very much produced beats. In some parts, they do tend to be quite repetitive, just because that's the nature of them. Which they sound really good, but sometimes when you're trying to get very distinct B-roll sections, or get like slightly different emotions tucked in within them, it's nice to just kind of find like very different parts within the soundtrack, the music audio, if that makes sense.
And everything will be okay. Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll use actually that bit. Yeah, I quite like that.
Everything will be okay. Yes.
I'm gonna cut that there.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, I like, kind of playing with what I get given in some respects, and just sort of seeing, you could go infinite on, like, even using the stems and stuff, like I kind of talked about before. There's infinite possibilities of how things are cut. It's really personal preference, or just kind of happenstance as well. But see, something that just works. Okay, that was a little weird, like little. Might get rid of. And that's kind of it, guys, on these bits. See, so again, I'm cutting that to get rid of it so I can hear what it sounds like.
Okay, guys.
Because if I didn't do that, see, I've rolled that off there, but then there's this whole track still here. I don't really get the feeling. It just jumps back into the loud audio, right? So I don't really get the feeling of what that sounds like when it rolls off.
Okay, guys, we're kind of
like that. See, and I don't like how that works. Longer roll.
Okay, guys, we're kind of in.
Yeah, might make it a bit shorter and just roll it from there.
Okay, guys, we're kind of in.
Okay, we're in the home stretch, guys. Home stretch, home stretch. Good, because I'm running out of minutes on my cards, which means that this has been a long video for you. Okay, so I've pasted this back in. What I like to do on my outros is quite often with the stuff, particularly from Epidemic Sound, is it has a nice little outro bit. This is it. And we're kind of, I mean, sometimes they can be quite abrupt, like that. And sometimes actually I like cutting even the bit, that little tiny bit there that's off. I then cut around here, get rid of that, push this over here so it's right at the tip there. Then actually blend that just to round that off a bit there.
Street market.
Petroling street market. So this is what we're looking at. Loads of stuff. Elephants and things. Little things.
That's nice. I think that's nice. So I think I'm going to round it, but then I might do like a
street market.
Petroling street market. So this is what we're looking at. Loads of stuff. Elephants and things. Little things.
And then it kind of comes back up, obviously, when we're doing this logo. I brought it down just to get a bit more audio from when I'm talking about where it is. Okay, so that's pretty much how I edit. A couple of things that I haven't gone through, which I can quickly touch on, but actually what I'm going to do first is I just go here, go to center compression, go new batch. I know that this is 4K. Compressor obviously opens up by itself. I can add. I've got it kind of already open on 4K. I think this is a default that's on. I did do some edits on some of these, but I think that's just the default one that comes with compressor. I then change this to other. I find my folder. I choose it. Press OK. I know that all this is correct. You can look through and play with whatever you want to play with. I don't know. I spent a long time when I started editing and started using Final Cut, kind of playing around with these and just seeing what was best. But it works. It all works for me, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. For this particular one, you know, sometimes there might be, you know, if I'm doing verticals or other videos, maybe I change some of the stuff. I don't know. But for this, that's it. So let's start the batch. Then it processes. Then I upload it. That's pretty much it for the video section. The next bit that I do, which actually I may do as a separate tutorial. Yeah, I think I'll do it as a separate tutorial. Which is basically I just go through and I try and find like some sort of interesting, weird facial expression that I do in one of these clips here. Like for example, you know, some weird, generally with my mouth open or making some funny face thing, or something funny is happening, or maybe Usher's making a funny facial expression, something that kind of again grabs attention, you know. Ooh, like this, you know, sometimes it's smiling. Oh gosh, maybe that's too much smiling. But yeah, I'll go through and I'll select one of those. I'll then, let's say it's here. I then share, save current frame, go next. Where did, you know, could rename it if I wanted to, don't need to. And then that shares that frame out. I then take that into Photoshop. But I think that's going to be maybe a different tutorial, because this one's got long, and that's more about Photoshop and thumbnails than the actual video editing process. Okay guys, so maybe I'll tag that video, so the thumbnail video, I'll put in maybe the description, and also like, you know, tag up top here. I'll also tag this video, because I'm just about to upload this one, obviously. So this one will also be tagged, I guess, at the end of this one. Thanks a lot for watching. If this was informative, like if you want to find anything else out about anything else I kind of do in my process, you know, obviously I talked about maybe doing the settings on my GoPro. I could probably do the settings on my my Sony camera. I'll even do like all my equipment. You know, I kind of want to be doing a bit more like tutorial-y kind of stuff, or maybe like passing on like kind of the stuff, the knowledge and stuff that I kind of just now do habitually, you know, just to kind of document it and kind of pass it along, I guess, to the next people. So yeah, if you want to hear anything about anything that I do, let me know, and I'll try to do that for you, put a video together. And while I'm trying to do that, maybe you want to try subscribing so that you can find out if I've actually done what you've asked me to do. Maybe just comment down below if there's anything. Yeah, anything. Ask me some questions. And that's it, guys. Cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, keep on drifting. Cheers, guys.